刚才我们为大家报道的纳瓦尼，他生前是房地产的律师，也就是说，如果他选择跟独裁政权和平相处，苟且偷生，不挑战他的话，还在俄罗斯，或者他得到德国政治庇护的时候，他可以有很优渥的生活。但是他选择忠于他的良心。而在苏联时期有沙卡洛夫，当时沙卡洛夫对于苏联的崩解之后的俄罗斯民主，他说了一句话，他说这个时刻不管是 Glasnost 还是后来的苏联崩解，他认为意义是很小的，因为所有的反对派都被杀光了。而后来在一起的反对派，这位47岁的纳瓦尼还是被杀了。而就在这个时刻，美国本来是为了预算，因此呢，在预算里头做了一个报告。这个报告呢，震惊了美国的国会。这个报告里头显示出来，俄罗斯可能成功的发展人类第一个进入太空的航太核武器。这个太空的核武器呢，将是人类第一颗在太空里头可以使用的核武器，它可以攻击任何一个地方。美国再度的陷入国安的恐慌。
We're concerned the Soviets might be trying to introduce a new weapon.
冷战时期，美苏太空武器竞赛向来是好莱坞大片最受欢迎的情节。如今，科幻剧情成为现实。
Space may soon become the next battlefield, and concerns about that new type of warfare is on the rise.
Tonight, the White House confirmed that it's monitoring Russia's development of what it called a troubling anti-satellite capability.
Sources telling ABC News that the U.S. believes Russia is working on plans to position a nuclear weapon in space, a blatant violation of multiple international agreements. The intended target, not Earth, but the critical satellite circling around it, vital for communications and military operations.
一项附属在950亿美金队伍援助补充预算书中的机密情报，披露了莫斯科当局正在推进的俄罗斯版星战计划。但这并非新的战略概念。
What if free people could live secure in the knowledge that their security did not rest upon the threat of instant U.S. retaliation to deter a Soviet attack, that we could intercept and destroy strategic ballistic missiles before they reached our own soil or that of our allies?
President Reagan today followed up last night's defense policy speech. He gave the go-ahead to develop a space-age system designed to neutralize an enemy nuclear missile attack.
Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, nicknamed Star Wars after the movie, envisaged satellite and ground-based weapons that could destroy Soviet missiles with darts and laser beams.
雷根提出星战计划后，10年间砸了300亿美金，虽然没搞出什么名堂来，却让加入这场太空军备竞赛的苏联不堪负荷，在1991年解体。俄罗斯重拾的星战计划已不是当年飞弹防御的概念。
These are pictures of Russia's defense minister visiting a company producing electronic warfare systems designed for space.
The Russians haven't launched any nuclear-powered satellites since the late 1980s, early 1990s. But we know there is evidence that they resumed this program about 2014. That is when this top-secret nuclear-powered project seems to have started.
Is it a nuclear weapon, a nuclear-powered weapon, or a nuclear-capable weapon?
I'm not going to be able to go into any more detail.
美国国安会发言人科比虽不愿多谈俄罗斯太空武器的细节，但他抨击莫斯科违反了1967年外太空条约，在绕地轨道和天体外禁止部署核武器的限制军事化原则。这表明俄罗斯的太空武器具有一定的核能力，只是这与一般认知的太空核武或在外太空进行核爆，无差别的摧毁所有卫星不同。
In orbit now, the number used for communication stands at over 4,500. They include Elon Musk's Starlink network. Satellites looking down on the Earth number more than 2,000, including hundreds of military craft. And there are more than 300 navigation satellites, powering everything from maps on our phones to global shipping. The major concern is that a Russian nuclear-powered satellite could use its energy stores to send a pulse of electromagnetic energy, frying the circuits of Western satellites with the aim of leaving Russia's intact.
Well, so let me say that there are two scenarios. Yesterday we were talking and focusing a lot on what to me was the wrong description, which was a nuclear weapon in space. A nuclear weapon in space does very little. First of all, it's a major violation of the Outer Space Treaty, but also the Russians don't need nuclear weapons to destroy American satellites, and American satellites are fundamental for American citizens' lifestyle. If you think about the GPS, if you think about your communication platforms, your systems, everything relies today on satellites. And so being able to degrade or destroy satellites has both military and civilian implications, especially for American society and American defense. But we are not talking about a nuclear weapon in space. This would not constitute a major technological breakthrough for the Russians. Again, if they wanted to target American satellites, they would do it easily with ballistic missiles. I think what we are talking about here is actually probably a little bit more disturbing, which is a nuclear-powered anti-satellite jammer system. It doesn't mean that this system will carry nuclear weapons, but it means it will be powered by nuclear fission. And this is important because an anti-satellite technology that is powered by nuclear fission would have a much larger range. So you'll be able to cover a much larger volume of space. It will be able to target and disrupt more satellites at once, and it would actually be able to last longer in effects. So again, we are not talking about nuclear weapons that would fall from the sky to destroy Washington or New York, but we might see a potential disruption of our communication capabilities.
Новый российский военный спутник успешно выведен на целевую орбиту. Менее часа назад об этом сообщили в Минобороны.
俄罗斯军方近来不断发射用途不明的军事卫星，被认为与研发中的太空武器有关。尽管这并非毁灭性的核打击，但以美国当前的军事技术，对来自俄罗斯的卫星攻击是毫无招架之力，让这份机密情报的披露冲击美国政界和舆论界。更如1957年，苏联率先发射首颗卫星后，在美国形成史普尼克危机的恐慌。
The problem is that we use satellites for communications purposes. We use satellites for intelligence purposes. We use satellites for GPS purposes and other information purposes as well that relate to our national security. If Russia could blind our ability to be able to gather that kind of information, make no mistake about it, that would be an act of war.
而率先披露这项情报的美国众院情报委员会主席特纳成了众矢之的。
Congressman, what do you make of the firestorm that you've set off today? Can you explain why you made this decision?
特纳违反保密义务，将俄罗斯发展太空武器的机密情报向全院众议员通报。
Moscow's military ambitions coming to light after the Republican head of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, sent shockwaves through Washington by cryptically urging the Biden administration to declassify intelligence about what he described only as a serious national security threat. The White House caught off guard.
I am a bit surprised that Congressman Turner came out publicly today.
白宫原本将这份机密情报夹带在原物预算书里，以此阐明俄罗斯对美国的威胁，企图以此说服众议员通过原物资金。没想到共和党在众院里少数支持这项预算法案的特纳，比白宫当局还要着急，弄巧成拙了，形成国安恐慌，还得白宫出面澄清。
We are not talking about a weapon that can be used to attack human beings or cause physical destruction here on Earth. First, this is not an active capability that's been deployed. And though Russia's pursuit of this particular capability is troubling, there is no immediate threat to anyone's safety.
事实上，这份情报只是白宫用来推动国会通过原物预算的政治操作，没想到引发轩然大波，还得安抚外界的恐慌。但当前不论军事或民用，什么都得靠卫星的正常运作，让反卫星武器不亚于核武威慑，更暴露了美国在太空防御上的落后。而太空中卫星的攻防已成为军备竞赛的新主战场。